Why voting for Donald Trump is a morally good thing. That's the name of the article that I've been reading. And when you get wisdom, when you find a nugget of truth or the mother lode of truth or anything in between, you shout it from the housetops. And that's what I'm doing with this article written by Dr. Wayne Grudem, which appeared recently on townhall.com. I encourage you to go. If you've missed yesterday's program or the show before that, I encourage you to go to Town Hall, find the article, and then send the link to everyone that you know. And the reason is because there is a movement. It's still fairly small, but it's significant enough that it could tip the election one way or the other. There's a group of Christian people that are saying that it's unethical to vote for Donald Trump, or saying that their conscience won't let them, which, as I've said in other programs, shows a malformed conscience. It shows a conscience that is not formed properly. It shows a lack of proper discipleship or training in the field of ethics and making decisions, all right? As the late Howard Phillips once said, voting is the political currency of our virtue. And so Dr. Grudem has been laying out first the case of what a disaster a Hillary presidency would be for freedom, for the church, for babies, for marriage, just because of the Supreme Court. And then he's laying out the positive influence that a Donald Trump presidency would have for certain issues. We resume now where Dr. Grudem speaks of the impact of a Trump presidency regarding the freedom for Christian influence in politics. Significantly, Trump has pledged to work to repeal the 1954 Johnson Amendment to the IRS Code, which has been used for 62 years as a threat to silence pastors from speaking about political issues for fear of losing their tax-exempt status. This would be a great victory for freedom of religion and freedom of speech. By the way, this is Randall talking. I need to have a caveat here. It's actually a bigger problem than that. A preacher can get up and preach against the evils of child killing or homosexual marriage. The problem becomes when they advocate for the defeat of a candidate or the election of another candidate, or when they use their 501c3 tax-exempt status church to promote for the changing of a law. $0 can go for, and zero airtime, like on Focus on the Family, can go for the advocacy of a candidate or the defeat of a candidate, and only 5% of their budget can go for lobbying for a certain law, whether it's a law to protect babies or marriage or whatever. So, back to reading. In short, a Trump-appointed Supreme Court, together with dozens of lower court judges appointed by him, would probably result in significant advances in many of the policy areas important to Christians. It would also open the door to huge expansion of influence for the many Christian lobbying groups known as family policy councils in various states, especially enabling them to work for further legal protections for life, for marriage and family, and for religious liberty. He asks, how can we know that Trump won't change his mind? Quote, but Trump has changed his mind in the past, a politically minded friend said to me. Quote, how do we know that he will do what he has promised? Maybe he'll betray you and appoint a liberal Supreme Court justice. My reply is that we can never know the future conduct of any human being with 100% certainty. But in making an ethical decision like this one, we should base the decision on the most likely results. In this case, the most likely result is that Trump will do most or all of what he has said. In the history of American politics, candidates who have been elected president have occasionally changed their minds on one or another issue while in office, but no president has ever gone back on most of what he promised to do, especially on issues that are crucially important in the election. In this election, it's reasonable to think that the most likely result is that both Trump and Clinton will do what they have promised to do. That is the basis on which we should decide how to vote. And notice how Trump has changed his mind. He continues to move in a more conservative direction, as evidenced by his list of judges and his choice for vice president. Just as he succeeded in business by listening to the best experts to solve each problem, I suspect that he has been listening, and learning rather, from the best experts in conservative political thought, and has increasingly found that conservative solutions really work. We should applaud these changes. Randall Terry here. I will be right back reading more of this incredible political treatise that was printed recently at townhall.com. Don't go away.